This episode is brought to you by ZocDoc.
Dude, that's a good voice. Holy shit. That's good.
I'm horny.
I know. My nipples are hard, dude. All right.
It was my favorite doing the teacher podcast because I got to read all the ads. And
yeah, we're gonna talk about all this. I really have real questions. I really want to know.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Let's
you're
go.
ready.
Hell
Kick us
yeah,
off.
man. Welcome to another installment of the Gray Area Comedy Podcast. My name is Gary Sharp, one half of the hosting team here, by my full mouth friend Jim K. And we have a great guest. I'm really excited. This guy is one of the busiest motherfuckers around. Jay Yoder, dude.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to fill your mouth with White Claw. And no, this is great. I'm excited. This is and I know everybody's mentioned how nice of a house it is. I will corroborate. This is a very, very nice home.
It's getting weird. I'm going to quit comedy just
You won't stop saying
Come to my house. Well, yeah, will you come to my... I watched HGTV a lot today. Just because, I've noticed there's certain things my wife won't let me watch because my daughters are in and out of the family room. But, HGTV is like a safe bet.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm basically just like a less gay Property Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm just one.
Not
Property
gay.
Brother.
Yeah. Dude.
Nothing less gay about it.
I should have my own show, Property Brother, but I'm just in blackface. Property Brother.
You beat me to it. That was good. Property, brother. No, that's what's up. Do you actually does your police your TV get policed? Like what you can watch, Jet, at home?
At home? Oh my gosh, yeah. Well,
No,
I mean, it's just after the fact. She's just be like, really? That's it, and then I'll try to put on something wholesome. Like I want to watch Miracle. I'm obsessed with Miracle.
That's
the
the hockey
one.
one.
Yeah, just I don't know. It was
Great
on
movie.
Disney Plus. I was just watching it all the time, and she's like, "That's what you're gonna watch." I'm like, "Well, you won't let me watch The Sopranos." I'm like microdosing Yellowstone whenever my girls aren't in the family room.
Such a good
It's just
show.
So for the most part, it's pretty good. But my wife and I, we can't agree. We can't find common ground when it comes to shows.
Really?
We're just two very different people in that world. So, we just each kind of find our moment.
And just watch it at your own.
Yeah, exactly.
That's gotta be
On your own time.
That's gotta be kind of rough.
We used to have Lost when we were dating years ago. That was our show together. We watched that.
I had a girlfriend who introduced me to Lost back in the day, during college, and that was my favorite show.
Yeah, it was great. And we even named it. We had two cats that have since passed, but they were named Herman and Sawyer. R.I.P.
Oh, you lost both of them?
We lost both of them. Yeah, it was a rough year last year. We did, and we did and then they had to do funeral for them and stuff, for the girls and all of that. But I went to the vet and they wanted to they were like, hey, you can do a private burial, you can do a cremation, and I'm like, Uber pool them to the crematorium. You know what I mean? I don't care who they're mixed with. And my wife did these little paw prints. For the girls, and then you bake them. And they actually look like cookies. I have
one. I have one. We just put my parents' dog down.
Daughter,
19 years. My family
19?
dog, Maggie. R.I.P.
Same. My family dog, 14 years. He died. My mom wouldn't let him go.
Yeah,
she should have put him down 2 years ago. But
Maggie probably had a good 5 years left, but my parents had enough.
Did you have a dog growing up?
Yeah, Black Lab. He just passed away last week, actually.
Why'd you gotta bring race into it?
African American Lab.
He was a Black Lab, dude. He was a Negro Lab. That's how we bought him.
I'm not gonna say that.
That's what he was. He was a colored lab. Okay. Dude. Yeah, he just got old fast. He lived a hard life a little bit. He was just jumping and running too much. He tore his ACL twice. He's one of those kind of dogs, all over the place.
He was very athletic.
I was gonna say, it sounds like he's picked up by the Sixers. It just went downhill from there. No, I think I was an only child, so having a dog, I had a dog growing up called Joshua that I would say was my brother if people asked if I had a brother.
That's a brother name.
That is a brother name.
That's the most brother name. Yeah, my brother Joshua.
Yeah.
That's not a dog name.
No. And then when I got older in third grade, I've been trying to do this on stage, but it hasn't worked. It's true. I named a dog Becky after my third grade crush, and I actually took human Becky to prom 8 years later. So it was like a vision board.
There you go.
And that was
you manifested that.
I had been naming all my fish after WWF wrestlers at that point, so I needed to switch it up.
Well, last time I did your show at Joel's, you did your Becky joke, and then I went on stage, and I was like, I have a Becky joke about my ex-girlfriend Becky,
that's
but
cool.
I didn't end up getting to. I ran out of time. But
well, you'll have time.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, speaking of Joel's, so you run a show at Joel's.
Yeah, I've been doing late night laughs. So twice a month on a Saturday.
Hell yeah!
It's great because we piggyback off of whatever his 7:00 show is, and then or 8:00 depending on, and then he'll usually let me host or do a spot. And then we try to hold the audience. We've started building a base of 15 and 20 regulars that just kind of come out too.
That's pretty cool, man.
And it's been a nice vibe. It's been a lot of fun because then it just gets me to get Joel's for me was the first place where I met a lot of comedians because it was the hang because it was the pandemic and there was nowhere else to go.
And we were outside paying $5 to
and so now it's trying to recreate that because it's in my backyard, so it's I want to it's so easy, it's so close to home for me, and I'm trying to get that vibe back there, and it's been really fun. We've had a lot of fun networking, people coming out just hanging, and the crowds have been great.
No, that's awesome, man. Do you find the crowds are too tired or too drunk with the late night thing?
That's a good point. So we've really played with the start time. We try to do a 15-minute break.
Yeah.
Let them go grab a drink or something.
Take a piss and come back.
And then I get it rolling and bite the bullet as people are kind of wandering back. And I'll go in and herd the kittens in and get them in. And it's been nice. Even last week, I think we had about 50. So the first show had about 125, but it was an all ages, family-friendly kids were in the audience.
Oof.
So, but we held about 45 from that. So we ended up having we started probably with about 55 people in the room. And I'd say by the time the last comic, I tried to keep it to a 90-minute show, but by the last comic going up, I think we were probably down to 30. So that was still pretty good. Because even in that room, that sounds great. It's a typical low ceiling, comedy room. So you don't need, as long as you're having, I've done shows for less than 10 people in a bar show sometime in less ideal environments. So it's been fun. So I think a lot of times too it's you want to have shorter sets, so I try to do shorter. Everybody does 8-minute sets, and then that way it's a little buffet for the people so that they can kind of keep their attention. And it's been great. I think it's worked out really well, so we're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. I did it a couple times, and it was a lot better than I expected. Because that was my question. Was how many people are going to actually want to stay after being there for 2 hours already for comedy? It was a lot more than I expected. Dude, the one time I came, it had to be 75 people.
Yeah, we've
pretty
really
packed. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is well. I don't know how much does that room hold.
That room can hold 260 at tops.
But it is tight. I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have guessed 100 something.
Yeah, so you can really fill that out, and it's so it's nice. So far it's been really great since we've moved into that room. I think because before he had the restaurant, we were kind of out there for a little bit, but it's much nicer. It's called the Melody Room. That's the perfect.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it's so it's been. Yeah,
does he still do the dome?
So he has the dome, and he'll do shows outside in the summer. Have Summerfest.
Okay,
it's still there. I think the nostalgia of it is there, but really, we're about indoors now. So because he's got a couple, he has the ballroom which can hold 1,100. So Pat, Jim Brewer, these people were doing 1,100.
Yeah.
But then, a lot of the guys, Mark Norman and them, they want to do the smaller room and just do multiple shows. Cause it's more like a club feel than being in a big ballroom. So I think Mark Norman's coming back in some of those, but they're just in the smaller room. Just do multiple shows. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I think he's there in January.
Yeah, the 9th. I think January 9th. He's got So it's so that's been fun because whenever he's got a really good show on a Saturday, and he's starting to open it up to other shows now. So they have a Dirty show now, and they have. I think he's Jim Gillespie and Rob Standard doing a new material show. So he's been really good about trying to give other people opportunities, and I think that's been great. So now that these people have been coming up for that, they get to meet him again, they get to reestablish a relationship, and then and then he's open to ideas, which is great.
He's really giving out opportunities, man. He's not booking me, but that's okay.
Well, we'll have to get you to late night.
Maybe one day. Yeah, we'll get up there. It's all right. No, that's cool. The shorter sets is a good idea too, because I can imagine I'm glad that people are staying after. I did not expect that, but people are staying. That's cool. If you have a showcase style show, so you have more than 3 or 4 comics, and somebody bombs, right? I could see a audience member, if that's they just got there for the beginning of that show, you know what I mean? There was no show before. They'd be all right, I'll wait it out. I'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? The next comic might be funny. It's fine. If they've already been there for a whole show and now they're there for another show, and then somebody bombs. I can see somebody just walking out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's the other
that's kind of the risk that you run a little bit.
Yeah. So, but the nice thing is, the nice thing is having 6 or 7 quality comics come, and that's what we've been doing every time. So we haven't.
So the last lineup was packed. I mean, it was like top to bottom.
So we've been very lucky to kind of get people that just either want the opportunity to have an early show, because it is. I don't have a budget per se. Like the 12 people that pay $5 to come, $60, and we were using it to like buy food for people at first, and then some people weren't really eating the food, and then it was just kind of this thing. So then we just started kind of like, the ones who come every week, we kind of just let them come in, and then the rest of it, if I have somebody that drove really far, then I throw them $25 for gas or something like that.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that way everybody kind of gets the opportunity, and I tell people, like, listen, if you have another show or something else comes up, just tell me, no big deal. Like, you'll never hear me crying about doing more time, you know what I mean? If somebody drops out, I could always give everybody an extra minute or two, so
for sure.
It's fine,
That's nice, man. It's a nice setup.
Yeah, so that's been great. So I stopped doing the tuned up. That was that other mic that I was running on Wednesdays.
You're not doing that anymore?
So it's still running. I just sort of handed it off to a younger comic. I'm actually had some things on Wednesday come up, and it just was a harder day. I'm going, so it was just a harder day for me. But everybody loved it. They wanted it to keep going.
Oh, that's sweet though, because it's already established. And
exactly.
I did that. That was fun too. That was pretty cool. That's a cool spot. So it's like it's nice that it didn't just go away.
Exactly. That was important.
That's also,
I wanted
that's
to kind
the
of move.
natural progression of it, though. It's like hopefully you outgrow everything that you're doing, and then you got to
100%.
hand it off, keep it going.
Yeah,
pass the torch. And
I was happy to do that. Yeah, it ran for 2 years. I don't think we missed. I think we did 100 weeks in 2 years. We did we always took off around the day before Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
and then like one other. So I think we ran at least 100 times in 2 years and never missed. Never had to cancel for like. Somebody always stepped up if I was on the road or whatever. So I was like, it's off and running. It's established. And now we have another mic in the suburbs. So you could do 2 mics in one night now within like 10 minutes of each other.
Hell yeah, which is a lot tougher when you're not in the city. Yeah, so that's very cool.
That's huge. So I'm actually going to attempt a 3. I found a mixed music mic. So I might do the impossible.
Jay, how do you have the time?
That's nice too, because you'll do the 2. That'll be sweet, and then you can bomb at the music.
Exactly right.
Because that
you get 15 minutes
one
for
way.
that one. Yeah, that's a big
15 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh wow, they don't know what
you get like 3 songs.
15-minute sets.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's a mistake on their part.
That is a mistake.
But they only have 10 slots, so you got to be there at the right time. Wish me luck.
No, well, they'll see you go up. You'll have a good 15 minutes. They'll be, oh, this is sweet. We should have more.
We should have more of this.
Yeah, so then we're gonna get
Jay is really good at this.
people that are awful.
And most of the people that go to open
15
mics.
minutes.
Notice I'm not going to say where it is because I want one of those 10 spots.
That's funny.
But yeah, the time thing is, people get a lot. You were going to say, how do I have the time for that, right?
Yeah, man.
Gotta be. I'm really intentional. Like I used to coach a million sports. I used to do all this stuff for school, and I just don't do that anymore. And so
you've replaced it.
I've replaced it. Yeah, Google Calendar. My Google Calendar's like a crazy mess. Like it's beautiful.
I got to download that. My fiance has been asking me to.
There we go.
Fucking weird. I don't like it mostly because it's a French word.
Well, you didn't have to say it so gay.
Fiance. My fiance.
He's like, my beard. I mean, my fiance.
Dude, she always tells me to like download Google so we can like share our calendars, and instead I just forget everything, and then she yells at me when I'm like, I didn't know I was.
That was huge because then my wife, because she has everything populated for the girls and stuff, and so I already know going in if I can book something or not, and then if there's something she'll decline it, because I always immediately add her as a guest on it, and then she rarely says no.
That's good too. Also, she works in a hospital too. Her schedule is different every week. I just ask her 7 or 8 times a week, what days are you working?
That's what you got to do.
And then I'll be like, oh yeah, I have a show. She runs. She knows when all my shows are, how much time I'm doing, where they're at.
Kelsey's great.
It's sweet. Yeah, she edits for me. Everything, dude. Manages.
She pegs
hand
you.
Jobs.
Everything.
Full service.
He's full service.
No, that's awesome. But yeah, we use Google Calendar because
I need to get this.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it all. I wouldn't remember all of it. So
dude, your schedule was nuts, man.
Yeah.
You got the board teachers going on.
Yeah, it's great. So I've been doing the podcast for them. So I fly down to Orlando for that, like the first weekend of the month.
Okay.
And then you
that's down in
record the
Orlando?
whole month. Yeah.
Nice.
So you fly, usually fly down Friday night, do them all Saturday, fly home Saturday night.
Your kid's like, what the fuck, Dad? Or Disney's or in Orlando. Why are you going?
So I went to Disney. So I stayed extra this last time and went to Disney just as an adult by myself with the one podcast guy. I'd never been on it.
He was like, look, I just want to hang out with some kids. I just want to hang out with kids during the day by myself.
Dude, if you're an adult by yourself, especially smiling like yourself, and you got some Mickey Mouse ears on, I bet they're like, here, sir.
I had goofy ears on.
You can skip the line.
That's right.
You can skip the line.
Actually, I was getting.
I'm gonna go get you an ice cream.
Just don't say anything. It's like, okay, thank you. Just keep walking, man.
I got hooked up there. We went down there and like I got the goofy ears instead of the Mickey ears, and
That's much more manly.
much more manly.
There you
Yeah,
go.
absolutely. Got the pick. Oh my god, I loved it. My wife was like, "You better bring me back something nice." And I'm like, "Well, define nice." She's like, "Well, how much is my silence to your daughter's worth?" And
That's a solid blackmail.
I gave them each they have the designer Disney bags that like all the cool kids will wear when they're down there. They're like like Louis Vuitton style, like little purses.
Like a over the shoulder.
It's like a full on backpack, but it's like this cute little mini version of a backpack, and they have like a million designs, and they're like $100 a pop too. So it was like really expensive, but I picked up. I did what I needed to do.
Girls, where'd you get that bag?
Yeah,
I want to get that. Where'd you?
I did what I needed to do. Just leave it at that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
dude. Last time I was at Disney, I vomited a pina colada frozen everywhere.
Did you actually?
Yeah, in front of a bunch of kids.
Did you try to do like everything at Epcot? Like, did you try to get a beer in every country?
Yeah, we were at Epcot actually. I
never
only
done
got like
that.
3 countries in because I was
it's too
hammered from like the night before. Basically, I went with like I think it was like on a date. I went to school in Tampa, so I was close.
You did.
Yeah. And I went like on a date to Disney, and the girl sucked. So I was like, I'm just gonna keep getting hammered. And then I threw up.
As
like,
you should.
I mean, I was discreet about it. I made it to the bathroom. I waited in line like a gentleman, and then I puked in the stall.
It's actually very
I didn't
responsible.
flush either.
Yeah.
But it was just like, dude, I started getting those like hot sweats where you're like, this is, where you start to like feel it in your jaw. You're
You
like,
know it's coming, yeah.
this is coming. I was like, should I just do it? I might have just threw up on this stupid girl, but I didn't. I was really nice.
I can't throw up. Like I've never I would make myself sick for an extra week to not throw up from drinking.
Yeah, we were talking about that I think last week, but I hate throwing up. It's not.
I'd
I'd rather
pull the
not.
trigger all the time. If I'm like really going for it, and I'm like, I don't want to wake up hungover. Dude, I'll pull the trigger, I'll chug a bottle of water, take 2 Advil, I wake up the next day, I'm like, dude.
You feel great.
I
Give me
never
a
pull
beer.
the trigger. Are you actually pulling your, or what do? You just tap it and you throw up?
I'm putting a gun to my head. I'm saying, this is it. Are you proud of me now, Dad? No, I mean, you just fucking, I don't know. You just
never done
kind
that.
of get back there.
That's gross.
I can't.
You're very comfortable
Call
with things
yourself a
down
little
your throat?
whore. You get back there.
Get in there. I couldn't do it. I just can't do it.
I just got to think of gross things, too,
Yeah.
while I'm doing it.
I'd rather be sick for the rest of my life.
Yes, I'm with
I don't
you.
know.
I don't mind throwing up.
Throwing up has to be completely involuntary. I have to be so sick that it's like completely.
That's way
you turn
worse,
into
though.
like the alien and like it
so
just
much.
opens up.
Sometimes though, you double clutch and you don't get it, and it hurts. It's like
It
you
never
get all the
feels good.
contractions. Yeah, but if you don't get it out, it really fucking hurts. But no, it's
like
a
a
lot
traffic
less
jam.
severe than when you're like got a stomach bug.
Yeah, just and now I'm old, so like I'm not like drinking like that anymore. So it's like I don't have to worry about it. I don't think. We'll see.
You just slowed down drinking a little bit?
Yeah, I don't really drink much. Well, and I'm always driving myself somewhere, so it's like, even when I'm out on the road, it's like, all right,
Just drink and drive.
I'm from Scranton, so it's in my blood.
So you know what it is.
Yeah.
Don't get brand new.
Until I can do this the teaching thing, the minute I get a DUI or something silly,
That's fair.
no mas.
Damn.
I know where my bread's being buttered.
Oh, you mean the day job, the real teaching? Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I was like, well, it's nice when I'm on the road with like the teacher tour or whatever, you just fly to whatever city you're starting at, and then they like cart you around. So in theory,
pretty sweet.
you could. Yeah, like the summer one was cool because we did more like clubs, and we stayed in the same city for like a weekend, which was nice.
Okay.
But the other one now, it's just like we're doing the theater, so it's just like one show, then you get the hell out of town and get to the next place. Because like I'm doing one in February, we start up in like Vermont, and we end up in Wilkes-Barre by the end of it. So it's like, but it's like nice because you're not driving. That's the only thing I said. I don't want to drive.
Yeah.
So it's like I got to be strategic. I'm going back to teaching. I haven't been teaching this fall. I took a sabbatical, so I didn't have to go back. So I go back January 23rd. So probably about the time this comes out, I'll be back in the classroom teaching the kids. That's when it'll get crazy. That's when I think you'll see me calm down a little bit.
Gotcha. Yeah, the schedule's gonna fill up.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's like now I'm teaching high school.
You ever want to hit the kids?
Dude,
Sorry, we don't have to talk
all the
about
time.
this.
Yeah, no, I think I want.
What grade do you teach?
So I've taught everything from 5th to seniors.
Okay.
So it's like I like the younger kids.
And you teach language, right?
Yeah, I do world languages, Spanish and Latin mostly. This year I'll be doing Latin.
Nice. Yeah, my girlfriend's a teacher, and she actually, so she knew that you were on like with the board teachers tour before I did.
Oh yeah,
She saw it online. Yeah, and she we went to the show where you hosted for Mr. D.
Oh yeah,
at Helium in Philly, and that show was awesome. By the way, you crushed. Who was the feature?
So a guy named Gasper Randazzo.
Yeah, Randazzo, dude. He has the tattoo on his leg.
Yep.
He fucking murdered.
Dude, he's so great. I'm actually opening. I'm at Governor's this weekend with him.
Okay, shout out to that dude, man. He's funny as shit.
Yeah, he's great. He's blowing up. He actually was on a Netflix show that gets released January 10th.
Damn.
So it was like a reality show. Like it's called The Trust. It comes out January 10th. So I think he's down in Tampa tomorrow. Then he flies back. So he's starting to get spots cross country now already.
Man, he deserves it. And like, I'm not even a teacher, but you guys had me rolling. I was like, if I was actually teaching, I'm sure I'd be even more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's a weird cult. The teachers.
I owe a lot to
pretty
Gasper.
Wild.
Yeah, well, dude, the whole thing is crazy.
How much they show out. Like, it's pretty wild. It's insane.
What do you mean?
Well,
just the network of teachers, like how, supportive and stuff it is.
So
it's pretty crazy.
Well, Gasper's even more intense because he's really good with the social media following, and he'll have people come like 5 times to see him because he's never quite the same. Even though a lot of the stories, like, he never tells them in the same way, and he's so unconventional that he'll have people come out to the same show. Like, this is the 3rd time we've been at Governor's in this past year, and I'm sure we'll have had people. It's good for me because it forces me to to vary it up too. But like, he's got, and if it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be doing half this teacher stuff. He did a show at Punchline. I just saw the flyer. And I just messaged him. I didn't know who he was. I was like, "Hey, man, I'm a teacher comedian.
No way.
I'd love to do a guest spot." He shaved 10 minutes off his headlining set for me.
Wow,
that's dope.
Yeah,
and then since then, I've been his opener. So I'll go and do 30, and then he'll go and do an hour. And he's just been taking me all over. I've done stress factories with him. I've gone all over.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That's incredible. Huge. And then he introduced me to the guy that got me eventually on board teachers. So like, I owe a huge amount to him because he said to me the first day, he's like, "Yeah, there's enough room at the table." He's like, "There's a lot of room here. It's something you should think about doing more teacher content." And because I wasn't writing teacher content, I was trying to do comedy to stay away from teaching.
Yeah.
And
so how does I'm interested in how that balance works because. Well, you're doing so much. I guess at Joel's, you're probably leaning away from the teacher stuff.
I don't do any teacher stuff in New York or anywhere.
I could imagine, I'm sure it's happened to people when you go full bore on something that's that specific. You kind of could get pigeonholed.
It just wouldn't work. Yeah, some of it wouldn't work. Or I can have a different end. Like, I'll have a different end. Like, it'll be parenting stuff, or I can do enough stuff about me.
I'm saying, I feel like you could pigeonhole yourself into, oh, shit, I haven't written anything outside of teaching this whole year because I've been so busy with this. And now you're like, oh, I want to go do some gigs.
Yep. That's why the Joel thing, that's why working at Joel's has been so important because everybody there has seen me enough. So it's like, I have to be doing fresh or new stuff because they've already seen me, so it's like it's forced me to kind of keep writing. I keep times during the week where non-negotiable. Like, even if I don't find any other time, like Sundays at 9 a.m., I'm always I dedicate an hour at least to writing. If I don't do it daily, which I should. But if I don't, I know I have Sundays at 9 a.m.
Yeah. What teachers? What subject are the best audience members?
Ooh, elementary.
Which is the sluttiest?
Elementary turn out. They're the craziest. They're always the ones because I'll do this little roll call in the beginning where I'm taking attendance of the people in the crowd, I feel like those people, and then like the paraprofessionals, like the aides, like they want to be recognized. They want you to know they're there. So it's usually like the people on the fringes. You don't really see many gym teachers coming out. Look at that.
Really?
Well, they have a cake life. They get to just wear sweats all day. Like, they're living the dream. They're not.
Even more reason I figure they'd be out drinking and having to become a gym teacher.
They're coaching the sports.
Yeah, I feel like middle school and elementary.
Teaching sex ed. That's very important.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, and driver's ed. So like, all right, we're gonna get you a license, and then we're gonna get you fingered.
Do you imagine that? And we have a thing on our middle school thing, which was like, be a good person, and then the third thing is like wear deodorant. And it was like, I couldn't imagine having to like teach middle schoolers about that. We do swimming in 7th and 8th grade. How embarrassing to be like in middle school and have to do swimming and get into the swim. Oh, I couldn't imagine.
You go like getting in the pool?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Every
He doesn't
7th
know
and
how
8th
to swim.
grader.
I know how to swim. Jesus.
See, I feel like that's a race thing. I feel like you're going after them.
We did a so what happened was we did
saw pride.
we booked a comedy show in like North Jersey on the beach. So we invited a bunch of comics out. We hosted. It was a pretty sweet show, and then we got an Airbnb, took a boat out, anchored up, drank beers, played games all day. Gary had to leave for like a work, like a day job
for like half
conference during the boat trip. So like everyone's like, "Oh, dude, that sucks. He's gonna miss it." I was like, "Dude, honestly, like he's just really embarrassed. He doesn't want anyone to know that he can't swim." I started this.
But he was
this
seriously
was this was weeks after being at his family pool party.
Oh, and so obviously you knew.
So I was just telling everyone, and everyone's, "Damn, dude, it's waist high water, like it's fine." I was like, "No, man, he's just really embarrassed."
So
then he showed up on the boat though, and I was like, "All right, guys, I kind of made that."
But hang on, let me tell it from my perspective. So when I get there, they're all on the boat. They're out in the water, like in the bay, and I'm like walking from land like to the boat, and it's I don't know like 50, 60 yards. And I'm just walking out there. I don't realize he started this stupid fucking rumor. And people are just looking at me like I'm like Jesus walking on water. They're like, why? He's in the water?
They're nervous.
Yeah, they're
like a gremlin. He's like, "Oh shit!"
I'm like, dude, I can swim. Like this is not...
That's like what Tom and Bert do. I listen to Two Bears, One Cave a lot. Like Tom's always telling like nonsense about Bert. Bert, he's But they're all worried about you. We're trying to get you like a life preserver.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, is he gonna be okay?
Dude, swimming. I love swimming. I did. There was something from a young age. I was so glad. Like you can even now. You put me in the water. Like I took the family to Mexico for Thanksgiving.
Dude, I'm going to Mexico in April. I'm so excited. I've never been out of the country.
Are you going all inclusive?
Yeah. So my girl for Christmas. That's my Christmas gift. She booked an all inclusive where you and your girl went.
Playa Harris.
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, I did my honeymoon in Playa Harris.
Yeah. So we're going there.
Gorgeous.
For like 6 nights or something in April.
You're gonna love it.
I feel like were you in the Dominican too? Like
there was a little stint there where I was traveling a lot. We just have stuff back to back to back. It's just
You got out of your system now. Now the kid.
Got the kid, man. Yeah, I'm stuck for a little while.
This was the first time we took the kids, and they're like 7 and 10. So it was like, all right, they had a kids club, so we thought maybe they would do that, but we just kind of hung out in the pool the whole time. It was awesome, but like they're old enough.
I just want to be in the water. I want to be in the water. I want to be in the pool or in the beach, like at the beach, and I want to have like good views. That's all I need.
Yeah, but then you're gonna eventually be a parent, and then you're still gonna just want that, and you're not gonna be allowed to do that. You're gonna want to watch whatever you want to watch on TV, and instead you're gonna be watching HGTV. That's what's gonna happen for you.
I'm gonna be on HGTV.
I know you should be.
I'm gonna build my kids.
Are you gonna have kids? What are you gonna?
Yeah, I want kids. Yeah. Mostly for sports. I just want to
for sport. It's like mostly we can throw them around.
Yeah.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, dude, just my kid dominating another kid. There's something about real primal in my brain going about it. Like that means your dad's a pussy. That's what, in my head. That's what that means.
You'd be fighting the other parents out there.
I could have your wife, sir. This is what this means because my kid just pinned yours. So
wrestling, is that a sport?
Yeah, I wrestled in college and stuff. I wrestled my whole life since I was like 5, 6.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Any other sports, or was that the main one?
I was an athlete my entire life. Baseball, football, basketball, wrestling.
Anything with a ball, or if I could wrestle other people who had balls.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that. We didn't. I mean, wrestling. I went to a small Catholic school for a while, and like it was just either in the fall you had to do golf, and then there was basketball.
Trust me, there was wrestling there. It was just
not sanctioned. Yeah, that was it wasn't altar boy.
Unsanctioned.
Not exactly organized. If you know,
I was an altar boy. I didn't get so much as a pat on the ass.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, I know. I felt like I'm eye candy. I don't understand.
No, did you play any other sports though? You
I did. I tried football a little bit just because of my size, and I just wasn't a huge fan. So I stuck with golf in the fall, basketball, and then baseball was my big sport. That was probably what I enjoyed the most. And I coached that for 17 years. The pandemic, I got all the way up to varsity coaching. I was the assistant varsity coach, and then COVID came and wrecked everything.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun because we were pretty competitive. We were state runners up in 2009. Like, we had a really competitive program where I'm at now, which is really cool. So some of the kids I coached in middle school are now the varsity coaches. Like,
that's pretty cool
to see some of them grow. Like, realize how old I am too.
Yeah, it's weird. Like one of my friends I grew up with wrestling my entire life. He's now the head coach at our high school. It's
that's such a cool thing.
Weird.
It's cool. I think it's cool for them because it's like. This program made you who you were. Now you want to pass that forward, or you want to create that environment. And I loved it. I loved coaching. I started with 7th and 8th graders for years, and that was their first time on a big field. So it was a lot of fun. And I love the Lily World Series.
Oh yeah, dude,
it's
awesome.
Cool.
The whole innocence, the purity of it before they're all crazy. But it's the parents. The parents ruin it, man. The parents.
Dude, that's in any sport. That's just I want to get into coaching. That's mostly why I want to have kids. I love sports. I love kids sport. It's fun. But parents, anytime I've run clinics for wrestling or whatever, it's the parents complaining. The kids don't care.
Yeah. And the parents are delusional. They think
I'm trying to play slap fight in the locker. I don't even give a shit. And their parents, their parents are always delusional.
I umpired for a while. I used to do that in the summers. Did Babe Ruth, American Legion, stuff like that. I did the worst was the 9U games. I had to kick a father out on Father's Day because he just was getting too heated about stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just settle down, man. What are we doing here? It's if the ball gets the pitching was so bad that it was if they could put a bat on it, it was a strike. You have to you have to adjust. And he's well, it wasn't between his knees, and it's I'm listen, his midpoint. I'm that's not happening.
I feel baseball is probably the worst. Because it's a little less definitive. There's wiggle room in terms of you could be
the interpretation of
yes.
It's a little open for interpretation, but at the same time, shut the fuck up.
Wrestling, you do you do wrestle offs in the beginning. The best guy wins the spot. He literally it's one-on-one, so it's something like that. Or football, it's a little bit easier to tell. No, your son's not as good. Sorry. Sure. Baseball, there's a little bit there's also a lot I feel parents are a lot more involved in baseball because it's so much more popular than wrestling. So it's so many dads coach baseball or whatever. Yeah. There's a lot of favoritism in baseball.
They get hardcore about whatever they think they know, and then they go off of that.
And then it's how does your son always make the All-Star team? He wasn't good during Little League. What are we doing?
Well, that was a fun thing about me coaching is I was the only one that didn't have a kid in the race. So I'd be coaching summer ball. So I would coach for the school, and then I would go coach the rec league kids, the kids I essentially cut. I would coach them in the summer. I would coach the Babe Ruth kids.
Did they ever hold it against you, kind of thing?
No. I mean, no. For the most part, because I was here ready to be about it. I'm all right, well, let's get better and get you to try out for next year or whatever. But the dads, it was all dads and me. So it was just weird because the one guy I got a kid, and this one guy came up. He's you have this pitcher. He's supposed to be up a league, and I'm like, relax, brother. He's I'm not your brother. He's yelling at me in front of everybody. I'm
you gotta have a lot of patience. Yeah, I'm dude, don't fucking talk to me like that. That's just crazy.
Yeah, it's brutal. Yeah, my dad always coached me in everything, and his way of getting around the favoritism was I was the first one to sit for everything. Best player on the team doesn't matter. For Little League, everyone has to play at least an inning or whatever. Yeah. Everyone's got to get an at bat. My dad's all right, you're first to sit. I'm Dad, I'm pitching a no hitter right now. What's going on? He's nope, you're in the dugout.
You almost have to do something.
Yeah, otherwise people are gonna talk shit. Yeah,
when people are gonna talk regardless. That's why I'm grateful. My oldest does a ton of sports, but she's special needs. So she does all the special needs stuff. I'm oh, it's such a blessing because it's all that stuff's out of it. She does cheerleading, she does does soccer and she does baseball. I coach the baseball one, which is adorable. Going from competitive baseball to special needs baseball, it's so much fun because it's just everybody's just there to have a good time. Nobody's there keeping score.
We went to the same high school, and it's like a giant swimming school for some reason. Wherever they're really good at it, and they hosted.
Not Gary, but everybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Well, not Gary. They tried.
They didn't
tried.
let me or any other black people.
But well, listen, they were like the 7 of you. Football field's that way. But the Special Olympics hosted like a qualifier at our high school. I think it's just very renowned or whatever.
It's a nice pool.
And so I volunteered to like ref for it, like blow whistles and keep time and stuff. Dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean it's competitive. Like it's competitive for
relatively
a portion of the heats.
Gotcha.
And then there's some people where it's like, I'm happy that my son found a passion. Blah blah blah. Like
well, it's great for them.
It's great. Like we had, I forget his name, but he was like my boy. Followed up with him on like his family on Facebook.
Oh wow!
But I was like thinking I was gonna get in trouble because I was like, we qualified. I don't know how he qualified. I think one of the kids drowned, but. He had downs, and he was like a big dude, as hairy as could be, the happiest kid ever. He was so bad at swimming, but he got out and he started doing like WWE style like shit talking. He was so fun. I can't remember his name, but we took pictures with him and stuff, and he started taking my shirt and just signing it. Didn't ask for an autograph. It was awesome. I was like, dude, I was like, take my shoes.
That's great. And for the parents, it's great too. Because it's like for a lot of those, they always have to like be with their kid, and like the goal of this is to have like volunteers so the parents can just be in the stands, and having just getting to watch their kid for once instead of worried about if they can fit in, if they can do it. So like it's a godsend. As much as I wish, my younger daughter, she's been dabbling with like deck hockey, baseball. She's gonna try field hockey this year.
Nice.
So she's kind of competitive. So I'm curious to see if she'll pick a sport as she gets older. She's 7 now, so we'll see if I become that dad for her. But I'm grateful for my oldest because otherwise I would have been a nightmare dad. Like someone who's coached, because I coached middle school basketball for years, and I helped do the book for the varsity boys for years. Like for football, I coached 9th grade, and then I would help in the booth with the varsity games, like spotting. So like when the announcer makes it, I tell them who to
9th grade football. They're hitting out there.
So it's like I'm so competitive. I've always been competitive by nature, so it's like I was like probably one of the manliest things about me is my love of sports, and I got that from my lesbian mother. So whatever.
I forgot. Yeah, you have lesbian moms. Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
And gay dads. Isn't that weird?
Wait, you have gay dads?
Yeah, my dad's gay.
Wait,
this is the first bit that I ever heard Jay do.
I know. I've heard your bits on.
So wow, my parents they were
both. So that's why they didn't work out. They were both liars.
They were both liars. Yeah, they were both liars. That's right. They went to a Jesuit university. They met there.
Were they each other's beards?
Yeah, exactly. It was a double beard, double rainbow, double beard.
No, okay, so they were. So they were kind of like, but they were like,
They played house. Yeah, they wanted to say, this is what our parents want for us. This is again, it's the 80s.
Yeah,
You just did whatever you thought you were supposed to until you couldn't take it anymore. It's like you and puking. You're like, listen, if I'm gonna have a good night, I gotta get this out right now. But that's it. And then they did. My dad did the whole second wife, second life for a while. But now he's married in Spain to a dude for the last 20 years. So
that's kind of hot.
It is. Yeah. And his husband is a diver. Like, so he dives from his lungs for they're called razor clams.
Oh yeah, I know
the only clams he likes.
Hold on, what did you say? He dives from his lungs.
So yeah, they weren't. Now they allow
free dives.
Now they allow them to have tanks, but for years he wasn't allowed. Like the kind of fish that they wouldn't allow them to go down with tanks.
Oh,
so they had to do it from their lungs.
Gotcha.
No, they're in the bay, but he's still.
Your dad helped train him for years.
Yes. He's like, you're diving for clams. This is so weird. But no, that's true. So and he's about to retire now because he's about to be 60. But he's they're living this little Tuscan style villa in Spain.
Your dad's not even 60.
Wow. My dad's 64, but his husband just turned 60.
Gotcha.
Oh, he's got him a little young grasshopper.
Yeah,
your dad lives in Spain. Is that where the Spanish?
That was weird. No, that was a coincidence. That was a pure coincidence. He just.
So are you like teaching him? Do you have to?
Yeah, I know. I speak way better Spanish than he does.
Gotcha.
He tried to take lessons while he'd been over there, but it just didn't take, and enough people speak English around him that I think and he's competent. He can like go to the market and do all his shopping, and it's cute. We took the girls over for like 3 weeks last summer, and he would take us to his favorite bakery, and they all know him, and he's like this like white dude in the middle of like, it's not like a very touristy area either, so he's just, everybody knows him. He's like that guy. He's got a different fedora for every day of the week. Like he's just like.
Is that the gayest thing about your dad? Is the fedora?
So gay. He's so gay.
Was he like that before?
He's well dressed. He's got like all the different watches and all of that.
When did your dad come out? Was he like were your parents together at all? Like during
by the time I was like, they divorced when I was like 2, so I had no like working memory of them together.
Gotcha. Okay.
But my dad was doing this thing for a while. He moved around for a lot, so he wasn't around for a good portion. But probably when I was like in high school, he came back around and we were trying to do these like every other weekend things. And that's when I have a joke in a bit where I'm like, well, when AOL came out, so did he. Like that was about the time he started
early 2000s.
He started playing on AOL. So I was like, we were like ships passing the night of like using the computer upstairs.
Oh, that's funny.
And then he kind of traveled around for a while and did his thing, and now he's living in Spain and
landed in Spain.
Hey, he found his path. I couldn't imagine his life. I'm sure was very, very hard. I mean, my grandparents weren't the kind of people you would admit that to. So I think he had to wait till both of them were kind of gone before he could really explore that. So I can't imagine. That's a difficult life. So I'm happy for him that he's got what he was looking for and feel like he can be himself, because that's all you want for anybody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it makes for a fun story. That my mom's brother's also gay.
That's the best story I've ever heard. Yeah.
And my mom's brother's also gay, and that's so funny because we always sort of knew he was more like an Aunt Frank than an Uncle Frank. You know what I mean? It was like that was no surprise.
Did he come out after your mom?
He's always been out. I feel like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's just, but in Scranton it's weird. You don't like, you're not like flashy about it. Everybody kind of like knows, and you just don't say anything.
Dude, so have you this whole time just been like, it's just a matter of time? Like I don't.
Well, dude,
they say your cells change every 7 years.
Right? I'm like, am I gay? What is happening? Dude, well, you could imagine. I was like, I'm like, man, I'm sucking all this cock and I don't like it.
Maybe one day I'll enjoy this. Until then,
like my dad was like roping, that's what I was trying to play with all those like Mr. Like, oh, my dad would be so disappointed. I'd be like, Dad, look, it's jazz feet. He's like, it's jazz hands, Jay. It's jazz hands. Jesus Christ, you're so straight.
It's embarrassing.
But yeah, no, it was weird. It was weird growing up, like, because all my mom's friends were like flamboyantly gay. Like one owned a florist shop, one was a dinner theater owner. Like, so I was around. I did a lot of acting and a lot of that kind of stuff growing up. So I'm like culturally gay. I'm in the realm.
Culturally gay.
Yeah. Like I watch HGTV. I cry when they say move that bus. You know what I mean? There's parts of it that I have. No, it's kind of cool though. It's like an interesting perspective, and I'm so grateful to see how things have evolved. Like Modern Family's out on TV. I couldn't imagine a show like that. I was dying for a show like that. Like something that showed something of what I was going through. So it's kind of cool now to see schools have like clubs now. It's pretty cool. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure. It's like socially, obviously acceptable. You know what I mean? And before you couldn't even talk about it, like you said. So
well, for the longest time, my moms weren't allowed to get married. Like that was not a thing.
Oh wow, yeah.
So like if one of them was like, my non-biological mom was sick, like technically we weren't like allowed into like the room or whatever. But they were nurses, so it was like it wasn't a big deal. But like you could tell like that could be a challenge for people.
Yeah.
It's crazy, like kind of stuff like that. But yeah, it makes for interesting stories. I was thinking of that for my daughters. Like my one daughter's like, she's like, oh yeah, my buddy Kyle has 2 dads. Like she's just growing up like it's not a big thing, or it's like it's interesting. I don't know, it's crazy. Did you guys have gay people in your family growing up, stuff like that, or?
So go ahead.
No, you go.
My uncle it's still not acceptable in my family, and it should be, but it's just not.
Yeah.
And so he is gay. He started his like new life. He lives with his boyfriend in Florida, but to this day he has not said anything to anyone. We're just like, we see it on Facebook.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, like Uncle Mike's gay.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno.
He doesn't come back home, like and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But like I talk to him on Facebook Messenger. I'm like, hey, happy holidays. You know what I mean? But
heck yeah.
yeah, it's still kind of weird, you know, just the way it is.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a level, like there's always going to be some people that have a hard time.
For sure.
It just is what it is.
Until certain generations, you know, move on, you know, and then, you know, other generations are ushered in and things start to change.
I think over progress is amazing to see. So, what were you gonna?
Jim's gonna come out right now.
My dad's just waiting for it to be me. But, I don't think I have any gay family. I have one trans family member, pseudo family, into the family.
I think a lot of those, like, it all gets clumped in. It's LGBT.
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
It's like, I had to explain to my lesbian mother what trans was. Like, she couldn't. I'm like, you're part of the club, Ma. Like, you should just know this stuff.
But I feel like I'm assuming your mother's around like 60s too.
Yep.
It's a different. They grew up differently too.
She didn't want anybody to know. I've outed my mom. My mom was like, I have friends that didn't know.
It's a different thing.
There's like trans masculine and trans feminine. Have you heard of that stuff?
I'm not very.
And I'm progressive. I'm all about the pronouns. But like, yeah, these are two that I think these are brand new.
Oh yeah.
I just like to call everyone a dickhead.
I'm never surprised. I mean, you know, I'm always open to like anything. Like, I feel like I have that kind of personality. Maybe it's just because I'm a public school teacher too. But like, I'll never be like shocked by anything. Like nothing. And I've heard people tell me all sorts of weird stuff, and it's like, I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna improv it. I'm just gonna guess it. Whatever happens. You know, that's all. That's all social life is. It's just improv.
So maybe we should get someone to take the guinea pig out of the household. But besides that,
I don't know, man.
It is. It's interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but I don't think it's new. I mean, I studied like Greek mythology and stuff. There's stories going back, you know, millennia that have introduced the fact that Zeus, the king of the gods, you know, took his fancy with boys and things of that nature. I don't think cross-dressing is not a new phenomenon. Like,
what was that face?
All of this stuff.
Yeah, the Greek stuff. A lot of the boy stuff.
You know what the Greeks like to do? Wrestle.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they liked wrestling, man.
Oh yeah, they did.
Naughty wrestling.
And you know, in the Olympics, the original Olympics, naked.
In Athens, yeah.
Naked. Because it was only males. It was only males. Females weren't allowed to compete.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, girls, that's gay. No.
Dude, like, get out of here with your
so like, where's your penis? So yesterday we were
you should be able to grab it back in the day, too. The rules have evolved.
That's right.
There's literally, you can find it on a vase where guys yanking it off.
Is yanking penis illegal in wrestling now?
Yeah, it's frowned upon.
But is it against the rules?
Yes, it's probably. I haven't seen it.
That says do not grab his
you
dick.
definitely can't grab dicks.
Okay.
It's like not like the hair in the. It's not like the hair in the NFL, like because it's part of the uniform, right? Like
that's what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah. So
if you're wearing it outside of your singlet, you got it coming to you. And also, good for you.
So we were at my in-laws last night for Christmas.
I've never had to worry about that issue.
I saw some TikTok video. The guy just had a fucking boner in his singlet. I'm like, that's got to be uncomfortable.
Dude, we had a kid in high school who every time we'd weigh in, he'd get a boner, like a nervous.
I
don't think he was gay. Like, I'm pretty sure he's married to. I mean, he could. I guess
he could. You never know.
He could be, but I don't think it was just like a nervous tick. You get every I think it happened one time, and we just relentlessly hounded him, and then it became like a thing.
You're making it more nervous and it gets harder.
Then by like the end of school, he kind of embraced it, which kind of made it weirder, to be honest.
You're like, is it throbbing?
Wait, now that it's fun for you, it's a little less fun for us, dude. This is kind of weird.
He's just coming.
We're trying to play Foursquare before weigh-in. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
You can't.
He's bouncing it. Like, nah, dude.
You need to touch it.
But he was really good. He was not like our wrestling team was sick. Won states a bunch of years when I was in high school and stuff, but he was not a great wrestler, but that you could not pin that kid because he'd get an erection and fucking blow you right off his chest.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I saw this video of like a guy, and I guess it was like a legal move. I don't know shit about wrestling if you can't tell, but it was like a legal move, and he was just rubbing his nuts on the guy's forehead. But it was like they were just wrestling, and somebody was like, "Tommy, get up!" And Tommy was just like,
"That's a DDT bag right there."
Get up at all. I was like, "Dude, you should lose just for that. Like it should be over." You know what I mean? Like get your head off his nuts.
We were at my in-laws last night. My youngest nephew is like, still in diapers, and apparently my oldest went in and was like watching her change, and she came out and she's like, "Daddy, do penises go away when you get older?"
You're like, well, I can't see mine, so yes.
So I'm just staring at her, and my wife's like, answer her. I'm like, I don't know what she's asking. It's like, my daughter will speak like a foreign exchange student, so I'm like, I'm not answering until I know exactly what she means.
Oh, that's funny.
And I think she just assumed that she was once a baby.
Yeah, it's a trap.
I was like,
know what you're doing.
I was like,
Oh, man.
So I'm like, I think she meant that she assumed she was like a baby, like he was, and she must have had a penis, and she's wondering where her penis went.
Gotcha.
That's what I think.
And you're like, oh, this was passed down from your dad. This is just genetic.
I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? I have no idea how to answer
You had to connect so many dots there, though.
There were so many. My wife was like, "Why did you not answer?" I'm like, "I didn't know what to answer. I didn't know what the question was yet."
That's funny.
Because you have to put yourself in her. I had to put myself in her world and try to figure out like, what is she trying to say right now?
Dude, I'm not looking forward to any of those conversations.
I know, dude. I get weirded out. Like whenever one of my I have so many little cousins.
Yeah.
And they're all like 4 to like 7, 8 now, which like they're gonna ask
those
innocent questions that might not be about innocent topics, and it's just so weird. I'm like, dude, it's
well, your job is just to ask your parents.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for me it's easy, but I'm thinking like kids don't. I'm like, oh man.
I mean, the goal is to be proactive. So it's like now she's at this age when my wife was like, "Oh yeah, we have to get her some bras." I'm like, "Why are we getting our 10-year-old bras?" She's like, "Well, she needs them now." I'm like, "No, we're not talking about this." But like you have to be proactive. Like in 5th grade, I know they do an assembly at school, but I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to start with her like younger because she's starting to get like she's like, I'm a woman now. I have hair under my armpits.
Oh, man.
Oh my god! Like, so we have to like start having conversations with her now, so you can kind of, because for her it's gonna take a little bit longer to kind of normalize and help her figure out what she can say in public, what she can't say in public. So it's gonna be interesting. I can't imagine.
Is she starting to say like un-PC things?
So she's just asked those kind of questions like when they pop up in her head. So I'm like, well, if we can give her the information, and then then she'll have it. I'm sure she'll spread it. But like, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I want to be proactive about it. I want to have the conversations, and there's plenty of resources out there now. Like if you want to talk to your kids about it, there's tons of organizations that are like, use the anatomical figures, and you got it because like you don't know, like I don't want her to be taken advantage of when she gets older and stuff like that. People who are on autism or special needs, they're 2, 3 times, 4 times as likely to be like taken advantage of, or something happen later on. Yeah.
Oh shit, that's
so
wild.
it's like I did a lot of research. That was part of my sabbatical. I had to like be taking grad classes, so I was taking classes in autism, and I did some research on girls on the spectrum, and I was seeing all these like statistics and numbers, and it's like, wow, like, because it is they're susceptible, they're easy to, sometimes they want to see the best in everybody, and people take advantage of that. So you
gotta be terrifying.
Dude, I am no Liam Neeson, you know what I mean? Like,
as a guy, how much of a creep do you got to be though? I mean, come on. Jeez.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's already
there's a lot of people.
There are a lot of those kind of creeps. It's amazing.
Like,
dude, I've been listening to True Crime. I had no idea I thought True Crime was a podcast. I didn't realize True Crime is a genre.
Oh, your world has been opened.
Oh my god! And like now, I'm addicted, and I can't stop listening to True Crime.
Do you have a podcast that you listen to?
I listen to a ton. So I mean, like the typical 48 hours, 2020. But I also like.
Dude, my dad lives for 48 hours.
Yeah. Case Files.
Anytime you go over the house, he's on 48 hours. Sometimes like, I already watched this one. This guy, he did it. He fucking did it. He looks like he did it. He did it.
I was like, I asked Santa for world peace, but I'm kind of conflicted because I also want more episodes of True Crime. I don't know what's happening.
I have a feeling you're gonna get them. Yeah. The only thing they're gonna get better because there's gonna be more and more footage of things. Because there's literally a camera on everything. This couch is actually a camera.
We're also currently getting a colonoscopy as we sit here. It is. It's crazy the ones where it's like the kid killed the parents or that's
gotta be terrifying.
The spouses.
Because those kids, they sneak up. You wake up in the middle of the night. They're standing right next to you. You're like, God, you were a sneaky little ninja.
Are they gonna kill me? Is my wife gonna kill me? Like I have all these questions.
Yeah. I'm so glad I don't have a white kid, man. That's only white kids that do that.
You're right.
You have a 50% shot.
No.
My daughter's black, okay?
She looks Italian.
She does look very white, but she is black. She is, for sure.
Dude, I'm telling you, it is. Yeah, it's funny how that scenario. I was watching one out of Texas, and these people, the kid, like, and they don't even know for sure. Like, there was no conclusive evidence, but like the juries were like, yeah, he did it. I'm like, dude, they're crazy down in Texas. Like, they didn't have a fingerprint, they didn't have anything. They're just like, well, nobody. The
was part of you like
was still on.
he probably did it.
He probably did it. He probably did.
Come on.
Those ones kill me though. When you're like, it goes to the jury, and you're like. And then you're like, it's either a hung jury, and I'm like, wow, I didn't know they were measuring, but but like the jury's like can't make the decision, so it keeps kind of
did that, dude. Well, that's also like it's hard watching those things too because you're like, how much information are they leaving out?
Yeah.
Because like I remember watching the first Casey Anthony documentary, I was like, oh, that bitch did it, dude. She's guilty. Then I watched the new one. I was like, I don't know.
I'm exact same.
Did you watch The Making a Murderer?
Yeah, I thought you cannot watch the first. It's great. It's really well done. But that's part of the problem. Is it's so the production's too good. Like the quality.
Did he do it?
So you watch it and you think no, and then there's all these people like, oh, like there's all this evidence outside of the documentary that's like, oh, he definitely did it. Then they had the second one. They're like, this new attorney was going to get him out.
That's right.
Like 5 years later, and you watch that one, you're like, oh, he definitely didn't do it. Get him out, and then. There's also like rebuttal where people's like, I fucking did it. In fact, I think he did more than that.
That woman that was that high-powered attorney, she came up in one of the true crime podcasts. I was like, oh, I remember this woman. Like, now I'm starting to know the players, which means I'm in too deep. That's what that means.
You know random Wisconsin defense attorneys?
Dude, you're way too deep in the trenches.
Yeah, I can't tell you 3 of the 5 starters for the 76ers, but I can tell
you know the district attorney in Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sheboygan's DA. Can I tell you about them?
All right, I gotta take a piss.
Go take a piss, and then we'll finish up. Guys, we're at about an hour now. I think that means that it's time for Girl Talk. All right, Jay. So this is the segment of the podcast where
we pound White Claws.
We come out. We come out. Look, if you're not activated as gay now, you didn't catch the gene. Because honestly, it's pretty freeing.
It is.
But no, this is the segment of the podcast where we just talk shit on anything that's been grinding your gears, anything you hate, an ex, a parent, anything you want to, just get it out. Just get it out.
Let's talk.
What's something you hate? What's something you want to talk shit about?
We just went through all these holidays, and I hate when you run into the family members that you don't see all the time, and they have the right answers for you. Like, they have their opinion on what you should be doing, how you should be doing it. Like, I can't stand, like, we could be talking about so many other things while we're snacking at Aunt Betty's house, but like, this person's gonna come up and try to critique me because they want the noise away from them. I hate those people.
Yes, I have an aunt who tells me that the secret to like quitting cigarettes is vaping, but I don't smoke cigarettes. She's just trying to get me to start vaping.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It's like, and also you do meth. You know what I mean? Like, you have bigger shit going on. Like, it's, come on.
She'd be skinnier if she did meth.
Right? Or whatever. She has problems, though. You know what I mean? People try to talk shit when they have bigger problems.
Nah, yeah.
Well, and I think they're projecting their own fears. Like, it's all people say that to me, like, oh, you know, you're gonna burn yourself out, you're gonna go crazy. I'm like, dude, you have no. I am at recess now. I hate when people do that with my. They'll look at my schedule or some of my family members who maybe don't understand. I think now with the comedy, it's got a little bit different, but in the beginning, like, it was like I hated people be like, oh, well, you're never home with your kids. I'm like, dude, I get my kids up on the bus every day. I'm there when they get home. I take them to gymnastics.
That's gotta be an annoying one. That's the one.
Oh yeah.
It's like
I'd rather you say I hit my wife. Don't like. Yeah. That's the line, though, is like the kid.
Everybody's got, like, an opinion on it. And I think a lot of times it's, like I said, people who projecting their own fears or, like, they didn't chase the dream that they wished, and so they're going to try to find the hole in mine and try to, like, minority report me into being a true crime podcast, you know?
There's definitely, though.
Yeah,
It's the truth.
With comedy, people don't understand that it is an actual grind, and like you have to do it every day. Like if you truly want to be good at it, you have to sacrifice a lot for it. But it's also like that doesn't mean you can't be there for your kids, or some people are good at prioritizing.
That's just it. You got to be intentional. That's why I'll pull out my Google Calendar and I'll shove it in their face. I'm like, listen, I got a lock. We got color codes for the different people in the family. Like, we got it all. Is it perfect? No, but is it really good? Yeah, it's great. It's working out. And you know what? Like, I think they just need to worry about themselves. But I hate when people project their own crap.
No, for sure. Like, also, you don't owe an explanation. You know what I mean? Like, it's none of your
It's always business. The one too that's like giving out the advice where it's like, you shouldn't be doing this.
That's what I'm saying.
It's always that person. They're the same person that wants to see the manager at Starbucks. It's the same person.
Because the rational, reasonable person is not going to say that. You know what I mean? They're not going to.
Well, it's like Uncle Jerry. You're paying alimony to two different women, and none of your kids talk to you. But
and I would never think to bring that up about them. Like, I'd never, like, in the moment, even though like I'd rather do that. Like, I can't point it at them, but that's why I hate people. They got me because they know I'm not gonna point out their nonsense, and they feel at liberty to talk about whatever. Those people gotta go. The other people that gotta go are the parents who like email their teacher at like the weird times. Like, I'm not looking forward to going back because I don't need parents emailing me weird stuff like, oh, my kid has a 91.275 and I really want them to have a 92.
Jeez.
I'm like, all right, well then tell them to do the work that they didn't do that figured all that math out. Like, stop bothering me and talk to your friggin' kid.
Like, so I was always a straight A student. I was also always very disruptive in class. I was like a nightmare. But I think I made up for it. I always got the best Christmas presents.
What are my teachers. What are we talking?
Like shit from like Brookstone and stuff. But like compared to the other kids would bring like a fucking ornament they made, like with their teacher's name on them. Like, dude, we've talked about a lot of gay stuff today. That's the gayest. No, dude, I'm getting you a foot massager.
Now, is this you or is this like
you helped me through 9/11? So you let my parents pick me up that day. It was awesome. I got off the next day actually too. Here you go. Your feet don't deserve to hurt.
He's like, yeah, I want to shove it up your ass for bothering me all the time in class.
I think every teacher who had me the first day, they're like, this kid's gonna be a fucking nightmare. But then they always ended up like me because I would make them laugh, and I would get in trouble. They'd be like, "You can't," and then they'd pull me aside, and they'd be like, "Look, you're not like getting detention, but you can't say that."
It sounds a lot like flirting. You guys,
he would buy himself social capital. He was he would be the one that sometimes would be the one that you could trust.
But I always got good grades, so like they really couldn't give it to me.
That's and I hung my hat on that too, like where I was the kind of kid. That like I went to 7 different schools growing up, so like there were times when I had to do a bunch of first days and I had to buy some cred with these kids that I had to do stuff that I wasn't as proud of to the teachers to win favor. It's like being in prison. You gotta do some things you're not proud of.
Do what you gotta do.
But I think I always hung my hat on the fact that I was a good student, or if they got me in a one-on-one environment, they knew they're like, oh, this kid's just trying to he's just trying to survive the first day of prison.
So I'm sorry, what were we talking shit about right now?
Well, I had switched to parents after I was just. It's just people who complain about stuff.
Yeah.
When there's so many other bigger problems in the world.
Do you get a lot of that?
I get
with the teachers,
a
lot, especially
I don't think my parents ever sent
report cards and stuff are due. I'm sure.
And it's not like a ton, but every year there's at least one.
Do you get more from the kids who are like on the cusp of failing, or the kids who want the A
it's always the ones who want the grade they don't deserve. Yeah. And I'll be honest, like
the kids who are failing, like, dude,
the way I structure my class, there's so many opportunities for people to do well. My beef with the person who wrote the email about the 91.2 is like they did everything they could to get to that 91.2, but like I was holding it because they did not deserve an A. Like if another teacher came up to them, and I do world language, so it's easy. So like if another teacher came up to them and asked them some questions, they should be able to answer them. Point blank, that person wouldn't have been able to do that, so they don't deserve an A because there were questions that if somebody came up to them in Spanish and asked them, they wouldn't have known.
Sure.
So to me, that's like, you know what? You tapped out as high as you could go. You did all the little extra assignments, and I'm sticking at that not making it an A because you don't deserve an A.
Yep.
And that's the bottom line. You got to trust. You got to trust the process.
Yeah.
I'm good at what I do. I'm good at assessing it. I'm good at giving people opportunities, but don't come in 11th hour and think you can undo. Like, don't talk to your, I'm a professional. I went to school for this, so I hate that. That to me is like disrespectful. Like, I would never expect my mom to call my teacher and beg for a better grade.
Never in a million
The only
years.
time my parents ever called my teacher said, "You're allowed to hit them." I don't know if it's legal or whatever, but
Exactly.
we give you
on
permission.
the other side of that argument. Yeah.
Everybody can't get an A or an A's, or what does an A mean at that point? Like, then that's fine. Let's just do pass-fail. And then let's not worry about it. You passed or you failed. Done.
Yeah.
Because I hate when people want a grade that they don't deserve. Because then they're going to go around with this stolen valor. And I'm not about that. I'm not going to give this guy a military discount in Applebee's when I know he only thought about going into the Coast Guard.
Exactly. Yeah, little Timmy got his legs blown off for that A.
He signed, but he didn't go
And
to boot
Samantha
camp.
over here thinks just because her dad's the township mayor.
Get the fuck out of here.
He's like supervisor. He's like, what is a township supervisor? Nobody knows.
That's not a thing.
But that's the thing. I think those people grind my gears.
Love it. I agree.
Yeah, and it's a shame because the school shooters never get the parents. That's what I'm getting out of all this, Is
that what you're taking away from all this?
Somehow that makes sense.
All right, guys. I think that's an explosive way to go out. But Jay, dude, this was a lot of fun. I'm thankful
I'm happy
to get you out here.
This is great.
It was a good time. You got a lot going on. You want to plug anything? What do you got?
Yeah. This will be out end of this week. So
End of this week? Yeah. Oh yeah.
so get this out before the new year.
Yeah, check jyodercomedy.com, Yoder Comedy on any of the things. We got stuff going on. So I'm bouncing around the area, so I'm going to be pretty local. Board teachers. I'm on a great podcast called Teachers Off Duty. Hit it up on all the platforms.
Hell yeah. Love it. Thanks for joining us, brother.
You got anything?
Not really. You and I are going to be at Punchline January 28th. Those tickets will be on sale soon.
Yep, that's true. And I totally remember.
And you and I will also be at Union Firehouse in Mount Holly February 22nd. It's a little further down the line, but not too early to buy tickets.
I'm going to be at your show January 6th.
January 6th.
It's going to be a tough drive from D.C., but I'll make it.
You'll get there.
All right, guys. Thanks. We'll see you next week.
Peace.